I'm super excited. My shipment arrived today. I'm going to share it with you guys. The Slinger Bag. Alright guys, so we've got the box here and I'm going to open it up and take a look. Let's see what's inside. It says this side up, but I will say that it was delivered. They set it upside down. So we're going to open it up and see if everything's okay inside there. That's awesome. So that's a really thick, high-density foam. You can see the bag sitting right down in there. There's more foam on the side there. Alright, so right here is the Oscillator. So that comes in a carry pouch of its own. So it's got a little bit more protective foam on it. And so this is the Oscillator that you set the Slinger Bag on, so to make the move side to side. Let's put that back in its, it's really nice that it's got its own carry bag here. Put this back on here. And everything's, I love it, everything's branded well. Like the cord's got Slinger on there, that's cool. The tape, the box, everything. Alright, so let's lift this out of here. So it does have some weight to it. So that's what's in that box. So it kind of looks like a large duffel suitcase, so to speak. It's got wheels on it that roll really easily. You know, so already first impressions here, everything seems very well made, sturdy. These are nice big zippers. This is the compartment where the balls go. It's got some packing material in there. But the zippers, everything, they work really smooth. So down on this side, so you can see this is a compartment they've got for a racket there. So it comes with, there's a racket bag, which is awesome. Again, I love the branding on everything. It looks cool. Even you can see even the zippers. That's really nice. And so, got a telescoping ball pickup. That just fits right down in there. So that's really convenient. You can just put that right down in there. In this pocket, this looks like, so here's the camera and the remote control. So this is a camera holder, so you can put your phone. That'll attach. I'll have to get all this stuff set up, but that will attach your phone or a camera, so you can put it on there, and that can record your sessions. So that way you can do video analysis. That's really cool. And here's the remote. The remote looks really cool. With a little lanyard and a clip. And so another thing that's pretty neat, and we'll get into this more in our review, there's a USB right there that you can charge USB devices that have USB charging. So that's really nice. You can do your phone or other devices on that. So again, we're going to put this to the test. Down here is where the balls come out. And zips around. And so right there's where the balls come out. The balls go in up here. So we're going to be putting this to the test for you guys. We're going to do a lot more extensive review. Let's also take a look. So we did receive a case of the Wilson Trinity balls. And as you guys know, Trinity ball is a pressureless ball, so that's going to work well in this ball machine. And these are nice because they've got, again, they got the Slinger branding on there. That looks awesome. All right, guys, so after getting everything out, I'm super excited. I cannot wait to get this to the courts. You got to make sure, though, that you do charge it overnight. They recommend, so the anticipation's killing me. I can't wait to get this out and try it out for you guys. The way it was packaged, even though it was delivered upside down, I don't think there's going to be any issues here. They've got it packaged really well. Everything feels super sturdy. The quality, you can tell that it's going to be there. So I cannot wait to get this to the courts and put it to the test. Alright guys, so it's been nearly a month since our initial unboxing video. So we're going to take a little bit more detailed look at the storage capabilities and those accessories and how you can use them. And I also want to point out that the unit that we have here, this is the Grand Slam Player Edition. Check that out on their website, slingerbag.com. Slinger was awesome enough to hook us up with this, and so that way we could do our review for you guys today and take a really in-depth look at it here. So let's go ahead and take a look and see at all the pockets and what it can hold. So in this main pocket at the top, you can see, and these don't come with it, but I do carry cones in mine. So that way, whenever I'm training, that's something you want to be able to have, and there is enough room to keep that all inside the bag. You can keep, so as you saw, it comes with a dual-sided bag there, and you can keep an extra racket if you want. So there is room to keep a racket also in that main compartment with the bag. Also down this main compartment, that's where I store the ball tube, as you know, so it can collapse and store right in the unit itself, which is nice. And then over on the side, you'll see there's a place that's got a hook and a Velcro strap. So while you're training, all you got to do is just hook that in right there. And if you want, you can strap that. Or even while you're moving it a little bit, if you're just going around the court, it will stay right there. You can also hook the ball tube on the net or on the fence. And also down inside, I've got my charger. So it just comes with a regular charger, and it also does include different adapters there depending on what country you live in. But it's also important, guys, to note that when you initially get your Slinger, you want to make sure that you charge it. They recommend that you charge it overnight. So not just your typical 6 to 8 hour charge, and that would be from dead. But you want to let it charge overnight, so that way it's got a full charge, and it's going to sit there, and it's going to make sure that way it helps ensure your battery life on your initial use. I've charged, and you also, after you use the Slinger, it's important that you don't put it away without recharging it. So whenever you use it, I just make a habit, as soon as I get home, I just put it on the charger, and depending on how long you've used it, it charges actually very fast. And in the month that I've had this thing out in a quarter bunch, and I've never had an instance of it actually going dead. And I've used it for almost 3 hours at a time. And I mean, just your normal use, you're going to tire out before this thing's going to go dead. So I promise you're going to get worn out from training before this thing goes dead. Then you go home and you plug it in, and it's going to be ready to go the next time that you want to go out. So over here on the side is a pocket. And down in this pocket is where I keep the phone holder, and this will hold your phone, and so you can either put it on the Slinger, and if you gotta be careful that you don't hit it while you're hitting balls, or you can put it on a fence, and that way you can record your training session, and if you've got any sort of analytic tools, you can watch what you're doing, and you can do that. It also comes with this plastic thing that goes around the corner of the phone But if you've got a larger, like I have an iPhone, the max size, it doesn't quite fit on that, so that's for smaller smartphones. But the holders are very strong on the side there, and there's no issue with your phone slipping out. Over here on the other side, there's a pocket over here, and this is where you'll see here that it has a picture of like a smartphone. I keep my remote in there as well, so that way I always know where the remote is. But what it has is it has this USB port, and then you have to include the charger for whatever type of smartphone you have. If you have an iPhone, you just get your lightning cable and that just plugs in there. And again, that will work, and you can put your phone, you can have your phone on the holder, or you can just have it in the pocket, and it's going to charge your phone while the machine is running. So, and I've not noticed any effect in the battery life because I'm charging my phone as well. There's another side pocket that's a big pocket there. It says for towels or different stuff like that, but it's a decent sized pocket that's in the side there. On the front, this is where the balls go. So the Grand Slam Player Edition, it comes with 1 case of balls. You can also get an additional, if you upgrade to the larger size, you can get 2 cases of balls. Those go down in here. There's a Velcro mesh lining in here. That is nice, and so you can kind of adjust that, and that helps keep the balls. So that way they go down into the feeder. So you can leave that open while you're training, or you can even zip that up. Down below, and one thing I do really like about the whole unit is the zipper pulls are very substantial. They don't feel, it's got nice big zippers on there. They feel very sturdy. These zipper pulls feel very sturdy. Nothing on the unit ever feels cheap. It feels very well made. There's nothing on it. It seems very durable. I've not experienced anything tearing up. All right, guys, so down below, this is where all the action is. And so you can unzip this, and there's actually a hook that is on the inside of the panel there, and it will clip right here on the back, and that's going to keep that secure and out of the way while the ball machine is working. And you can see all the fuzz that's on my machine. So I've been using this, other than the fuzz that's in here, which you can blow off. I mean, you can tell that the rest of the Slinger looks basically brand new. Again, it's the nylon that they're using there on the bag, it's very durable. There's also some carrying straps, and you can see, so they go around there. And so that they make it easy to load it in the car. So what you do is these will Velcro together, and that way you can pick it up. You can use those to help you load it in the car. If you've got a higher car like an SUV or something, you can pick it up. And the wheels on the back also work when the bag's laying down, which is nice, so you can slide it into the back of your car even while it's laying back. So down here are the controls around the side. You open up this panel, and so this is going to be your launch angle. So it's got a manual knob that you loosen, and then you adjust where you want it to go. And it does have some angles marked right there. And so you can, depending on the type of shot that you're wanting to hit, you can manually, you just loosen that and you adjust. So if you want to hit a lob, and then you just tighten it back down. And I've had no experience with that slipping or coming loose while I've been training. It seems to hold, it's just tighten it. You don't have to over tighten it, but it seems to hold it very steady. So if we go ahead and turn on the machine, so what it's going to do, it's going to initially beep. And one thing that might be odd to some ball machine users, if you've used a ball machine before, is when you turn it on, nothing happens. So initially I turned it on and I almost thought it was broke because it didn't start spinning, it didn't warm up, it didn't do anything, it just turns on. And you're going to see that it is on. There's 4 lights there, those are your battery indicator. So you can see all 4 are lit up, and so that's what you want to see. As the battery decreases, they start to go down, so the green come off, then down to the yellow to the red. So then these are your settings. So and it's marked beginner, intermediate, and advanced. So this is going to be how fast the speed, that's how fast the wheel is going to turn. This is the feed, and that's going to be how quickly the feeding tray is going to rotate up in the machine and how quickly a ball is going to drop down into the flywheel. And so between these two and then your launch angle, that's how you're going to adjust to make the type of shot that you want. If you do go on the website, there is a PDF with the instructions that does have a couple guides to show you some setups of where you can set the ball machine, and that's going to give you kind of a quick reference guide. So if you want to do different things, and even it shows, you've seen people maybe using this, you can do the ball machine or the ball boy setting. It's got a quick guide on how to set that stuff up, so that way you don't have to sit there and figure those out. But the best thing to do is trial and error for the different shot that you want. All right, so after you kind of figure out where you want to position the unit, also if you have the oscillator, it comes in this bag, which also can double as a backpack, which makes it a little bit handier, and it's got this clip so I can put that on to carry that around. You can loop the handle over the bag there. That makes it a little bit easier to transport as well. So when you get to the courts, if you want to use the oscillator, and you don't always have to put this on, so if you do this, the machine obviously is just going to shoot in one direction. So the oscillator does have rubber feet on the bottom, which is nice, so it doesn't skid. I've not had any experience with the machine, with the unit walking itself around because of any vibration or anything like that. And you can see that it's got an arrow here pointing to the front, and it's got marked there for the wheels. So what you want to do is put that, it's easier to put it in front. You're going to grab your handles. And so the thing I like about the handles here is they're very sturdy, and you can see that they're into the side of the bag there. You want to grab those handles in the back of the machine. And the machine does have a little bit of weight to it. It's fairly substantial. It's not anything that's super heavy, but it does have some weight to it. And so when you're setting it on the oscillator, it's important to make sure that you've got this black piece right here, which is the center of the oscillator. That's what you want to line up to where you want the center to be, because as you can see, this thing is going to rotate, and so it may be twisted. So if you line your machine up, that may not be exactly where you want it to be. Then it has this magnetic clip, and you can see over here where the and it just snaps on. You don't have to do anything special. It's just a magnet, and it just clips on just like that. All right, guys, so I've got my pocket radar set up, and what we're going to do is we're going to see how fast this thing shoots out the ball. So I'm going to start off with an initial setting of right in the middle of the beginner, and so I'm going to turn it on and we'll see how fast that goes, and then I'm going to turn it to the middle of intermediate, the middle of advanced, and then all the way, and let's see how fast this thing will shoot them out. All right, now let's turn it up and see how fast it'll shoot at top speed. All right, guys, so you can see the results of our speed test there. So the speeds that they've posted on their website seem to be pretty accurate. We topped out at a maximum speed of 45 miles per hour. Looks like when we turn it all the way up, we were averaging somewhere around 43, 44, and we did max out at 45 miles per hour. So the speeds that they've posted seem to be pretty accurate. Now keep in mind though that because of the way it shoots out of there, it's going to have pretty heavy topspin. So as you're hitting, it's going to seem as though it's coming at you faster than 45 miles per hour, because that ball is going to kick pretty big when it comes off the court. So, and they do recommend that when you use this, that they use a pressureless ball. They actually recommend the Wilson Trinity ball. I've done a review on that. If you haven't seen that video, go ahead and check that out. I do like the pressureless ball for the ball machine application, because you don't have to worry about them going dead, because who wants to constantly be replacing, 75 to 150 tennis balls? But my only complaint with the Wilson Trinity, as I talked about in my review before, is it is fairly hard, which is good because it keeps its bounce, but it is kind of hard when you're hitting the ball. You can definitely feel the hardness of the ball. But for use in this ball machine, it works well. It does its job. All right, guys, so let me go ahead and show you a quick example of how you can get this thing to set up, and then I'm going to show you some settings that I like to use. So you use the launch angle, and so again for your ground strokes you're going to have a little bit lower. Just depends on how fast the ball's coming out. So as I told you before, when you turn it on, nothing really happens. So it won't start unless you have the remote. So it's very important to make sure that you keep tabs of where you put your remote, because if you don't have the remote, you can't turn on the ball launcher. So after you kind of get a general idea, so I'm going to just show you, I've got this right now just kind of set on intermediate here, and it's on the oscillator. Now the oscillator is controlled also on the remote again with an on-off button. So they are independent. So even though this is on, nothing's going to happen until I push this button. And then once I push the button, it's going to start to speed up. You're going to hear it. Then it's going to give you an audible beep, and that's going to warn you that it's getting ready to shoot. And then it's going to shoot. So we're going to turn it on. You're going to notice that the 4 lights are flashing, and you can hear the machine start to warm up. One thing to keep in mind is that since there's only one flywheel, every shot is going to have topspin. So the faster that the ball shoots out of the launcher, the heavier the topspin is going to be on the ball. And I will say that the balls do have a considerable amount of topspin once you start to get the speed up. So if I increase the speed and increase the feed rate, that's going to make it a little bit harder to drill. And so remember, the feed rate has nothing to do with the speed of the ball. So after you do adjust it to where you want, you have to do that on that side of the court unless you've got somebody that can help you. The good thing is that it's still on, but because of the remote, it's not going to sit there and shoot balls out the entire time. So you don't have to just set it and then run around the court. So once you get to where you want to be, you can turn the machine on. You'll hear it beep to let you know that it has picked up the remote and that it started it. And then, like I said earlier, you're going to hear another beep when it's time to hit. So now it's beeped again, and it's telling me it's getting ready to shoot out a shot. So the ball's coming. And so again, I'm going to work on whatever shot I want to do. And without turning on the oscillator, I'm going to be able to hit a stationary shot over here. So after you hit some shots, if you want to have the oscillator work, so then all you got to do is turn it on and then turn on the oscillator, and you'll hear the machine beep, and then it's going to start oscillating. So keep in mind that the oscillator is not a shot position selector. The oscillator is kind of like a room fan, where it's just going to sit there and turn. Move it, a lot of times it's handy to reposition the unit, back center it up, and stop it so that way you know where it's going to shoot. So now I'm going to do some volleys, and when I do the volleys, I like to turn the speed down just a touch, and so that way I'm going to be up here at the net, and again, because the balls are a little hard, I don't want it to be shooting, firing out as fast as it can. You can increase the speed if you want to, but I'm going to turn down just a touch, so that way I've got a good volley that I can work on. All right, so to the ball boy, when you serve, you're going to turn everything all the way down to the lowest setting. You're going to adjust your launch to all the way up. Set that. And now you've got your own personal serving ball boy. All right, guys, and what's also so cool about the Slinger is when you're done, just with your balls, this collapses down, Put that back in the main compartment here. I'm going to zip up the ball compartment. I'm going to turn off the machine. I'm going to unplug the oscillator. Just unclip it from the side. Zip that back up. Velcro this handle together. I can put my racket back in this carry case. That's going to fit back down in here. I've got room still for my training cones. Zip that up. I'm going to grab the handle, take this off the oscillator. There's a magnet on the top that's going to help keep that cord. Put this back away in the oscillator carry bag. I can put this on like a backpack. This is going to hook in the front. Now you're ready to go. So final thoughts on the Slinger. I think it's an absolute game changer. So the portability of the Slinger is amazing. The battery life has been outstanding. Again, after you get home, after you use it, they recommend that you put it on the charger. The charger does have a red and green light indicator, so it's going to turn green after it's reached a full charge, so then you can take it back off the charger. And so, have there been portable ball machines in the past? Yes, but the thing I like about the Slinger better is that I don't have to turn the case upside down to put the balls in. I can just zip it up. It's easy to transport the wheels, the way that this thing moves. It looks awesome. Everything about it just looks premium. You can tell the quality of the materials. This is an absolute game changer in the fact that it's just so quick to set up. It's so quick to break down. Everything is contained. I don't have to run an extension cord. I mean, are there other ball machines that have more features? Yes. But for the player that wants to get out, have a great workout, this is still going to do it for you. This is going to be a great tool. This is going to allow you to get out and practice all that you need to practice. So guys, so for more, be sure to check them out online at slingerbag.com. I've been Coach Daniel for Hammer Tennis. Do me a huge favor, guys. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell notification. Give this video a like and hit those comments below. And until next time, catch you later.